I remember seeing my daughter for the first time. I literally had an emergency C-section. So I'm laying there aching in pain, like literally waiting to get sewed up, waiting for her to cry. And I remember the first time I saw her, and I literally was like, damn, like, I got a whole life to protect now. Like, it's like I was young. I was like, I wasn't wilding out, like, not like kids are these days. But I had my fair share of like things that I dibbled and dabbled in or whatever. But when I had my kid, it just changed everything for me, literally. So, and then I started also thinking about like, even when I'm gone, like the life that I want to prepare for her beforehand so I can take care of her, like, even when it's over for me. So that comes with a lot of, you know, a lot of stress. That's a lot of pressure to put on a person, especially when, like, the first 4 years I was a single mom. So it's like, I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, damn, there is no backing out now. Like, I have to go full force at all times. So I'm building that life now, granted, but what I realized most over time, like my baby is 5 now, building the life is like that's coming to be the easy part, especially as I'm getting older. So the hard part for me now is like as she grows older, I realize that my power of protection over her grows stronger. So it's like it's levels that I'm willing to take it to on my kid's behalf. If it means her coming out of any situation unscathed, right? So it's like I don't know. I drop anybody like a hot rock. They cross me. They cross my kid. Like that's just how it goes. So for me, protection can come in so many different ways. So it's like I sit here and in the beginning, I'm just looking at this person like this is somebody that I would fight for. This is somebody that I would kill for. But then as they grow older and they're coming into their personality and different characteristics and opinion, you kind of realize that it's deeper than the physical protection, right? Protection is sacrifice. Like, I sacrificed a lot in the beginning because I was doing it on my own. So, there was a lot that I had to hang up and like put to the side for a very, very, very long time. Which I mean, it was definitely worth it. But still, I had to sacrifice a lot. I'm still sacrificing stuff. But it's just like it's worth that sacrifice because what I sacrificed was worthy of the relationship that I'm building with my daughter. So it was like she needs to see that I'm always there for her. That's my biggest thing. I always want my kid to look over her shoulder, wherever, and just know that I'm gonna be right there, supporting her, seeing her through whatever situation, whatever the case may be. And that's right or wrong, to be honest. I wouldn't want my child to, be a murderer or anything, but to the best extent that you could possibly think, like it's just like that's just what it is. But as she, like I said, develops her own personality, I realized that the most important form of protection is emotional protection. So my baby feels like she feels a lot, and she's very expressive with her feelings, and she's sensitive. So she hurts a lot, and I don't mean to do like the air quotes, like, but you know what I'm saying for a 5 year old. Like she's very, very just emotional, but she has no problem like saying exactly how she feels. So I definitely make it, my daily duty to let her know that her feelings are valid, and not just valid, but safe with me, because I don't know. As moms, we know what makes us feel like we're doing a great job when it comes to protecting our children, right? But what makes them feel protected physically, emotionally, mentally? What are the things that we can do to ensure that they feel protected, right? So let's find out. So thank you for tuning in to episode 16 of Mommy Monologues, Mama Bear. This episode is brought to you, of course, by Killer Cocktails, the best cocktail curating business around. Follow me at Cam Bam Fam. If you're not already, click the link in my bio where you can find all things Cam. So let's get into it. So, ensuring that our children feel protected physically, emotionally, and mentally begins with creating a safe and stable environment. So, this involves not only safeguarding their physical surroundings, but also establishing very consistent routines and boundaries that give them a sense of security. Because as they get older, that will become very, very important. We know the safeguarding that's necessary when they're babies, when they're toddlers, whatever, inside the home, childproofing, outlets, blase, blase. But when it comes to outside of the home, beyond the home, safeguarding extends to being mindful of their safety literally at all times, especially in public spaces. So this includes, I really teach my daughter like safety, like when we're crossing the street. Like I definitely make sure that she knows. And it's so crazy because I don't think I ever told this story ever. But me and my daughter literally almost got hit by a car. Like, and it was so crazy because usually when we're crossing the street, I tell her to hurry up and run ahead of me. And if I would have told her that, like she would have literally got hit by a car. So that's like catapulted me into making sure that she knew to make sure that like cars weren't coming and like bikes weren't coming, like school, because even that would knock her off her feet, right? So it's just like you just want to ensure that they are like starting to understand even at a young age, like the things that are outside, and it's not always safe. People aren't always nice. So you definitely want to make sure that they know, just how to start navigating in the outside world. It's never too early, in my opinion. So, you always want to, you kind of want to like, no matter how far-fetched, you kind of want to always weigh the possible risks that can happen. And because like I know those risks and that it scares me to death, I probably like my eyes are on my kid like 100% of the time, damn near, no matter where we go, because it's scary out here and I literally couldn't imagine. So I just make sure that I don't take any risks in that regard. But of course, you want to make sure that your child can explore and can grow. So leave room for that as well. Like, don't be, don't like hound them unless it's like my kid. Like I can take her to the playground and I can watch, but she wants me to literally be involved. So that's a whole nother story. But so I of course had to do, a little Google. And when it comes to protecting our babies, I just feel like emotionally, after doing some research, there were 3 things that heavily stood out to me. So I feel like I've talked about this before, but open communication. I feel like regardless of how old your kid is, if they're in their teens, almost, if they're like 5 like mine, a little older, even a little younger, because kids definitely start communicating at a pretty young age. So you just want to establish a very trusting environment where the child feels safe to express their thoughts and feelings without feeling like they're going to be judged, right? So encourage them to just talk about their day. So like ask them questions. Like me and my baby have a couple of things that we literally do every day because it helps her to open up to me about things that happen when I'm not around. So I feel like that's very important. Express to them that you're proud of them, like regardless of what they do. It could be something very minuscule, and that's fine. Like my baby likes to draw pictures, and she wants to come and bring every single picture to me. Like the side of my fridge looks crazy, but I mean, I'm cool with that. Like that's what she likes to do. I want to pour into that. So I always, and I am excited. So I don't want to say I always act excited, but I may like increase my excitement for her, her liking. So yeah. So yeah, encourage them to share the things that are, that may seem hard to talk about with you. Be there to listen sometimes and not just respond. So help them feel understood, help them feel supported, knowing that they can rely on you for emotional reassurance, right? So the second thing was consistent support and validation. So the validation thing was what stood out to me the most. So you want to validate your child's emotions and acknowledge their feelings at every turn. regardless of what the emotion is, happy, sad, scared, like even angry. Like I'm kind of dealing with that one right now. She's definitely outwardly expressing, her feeling upset more. So I'm dealing with that. But just letting your child know that like it's okay to feel these emotions. And one emotion that I had a problem with that was scared, because like I feel like scared is one of those emotions that it's kind of hard to put yourself in your child's shoes, because you're just like, what? Like, would you please? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. But like at the same time, like they're just so small, like, and they're just trying to like figure it out, and like they can't really deal. I realize that like my baby can't deal with like seeing shadows or something and stuff like I can, because I mean I'm an adult. Like it's been 30 years on Earth, 31. So I had to really realize like, dang, she might really be a little scared, like regardless of what it is or isn't, right? So I had to definitely work on that. But you definitely want to let them know, like I said, that it's okay to feel these feelings. They're important, because just emotional resilience. You never want them to feel like they don't have a right to feel a way about anything, right? So just make sure you're being consistently supportive and reinforcing that you love them no matter what. Like you love them no matter, like I instill so much in my kid that I love her, that like she tells me like every 5 minutes at this point, and I'm cool with that. Like I'm cool with that, because it lets me know like that's reflective of what I've been doing for the past 5 years, right? So yeah, show up for them. Always let them know that you will be there, and then show up. So and I say that specifically because like I like to give my child, I like the surprise sometimes, like it depends, but I also like to give my child something to look forward to. So most of the time I let her know that I'm going to show up, and then I do. So, I think that's important, because I feel like she knows that she can trust me literally at all times. The third thing also was very, very important for me. Model healthy emotional behavior. So this was the most important one for me, because it requires a lot of inward focus. You really got to check yourself. You got to change your ways sometimes as well. So what worked before doesn't work now. That someone is literally watching your move at every single turn. So you want to do your best to just demonstrate healthy ways that you manage your emotions. Do your best to, keep certain things out of their path. Don't get mixy. Like, your relationship could be going this way. You could be into it with your parents. You could be into it with the father of your kid, whatever the case may be, but don't ever get mixy, like with your kid. Like always have that straight and narrow, where they're kind of like, you don't really want to let them in too deeply on, your personal life. Like that's their kids at the end of the day. Like some things you share with your children, and I'm genuinely one of those moms that feels like some things you do not. So yeah. But if they ever do so happen to see you in a moment where in any other case you would have got heated, you would have turned up, you would have whatever, just use that as an opportunity to demonstrate healthy management of your emotions. Teach them how to calm down. Teach them what's even worthy of a reaction at all. Teach them like, you don't have to take it there. You don't have to take it that far. Like you can take a few minutes to pause, think about it, think it through, find some ration, whatever. So, and like I always say, kids are sponges. So what better way to do that than by showing them that this is how you do it. This is how I do it. Okay, so yeah, you just teach them valuable skills. You just provide them with the tools they need. Like I said, it's never too early. So this carries on to who they become when they're adults. So like my kid very rarely sees me cry. But the times where she has, those are the times where I am a little more open with her. Like she doesn't have to know the exact situation, whatever the case may be, but I do, I don't know, I find it important that she sees me as a human being and not just her mom. Like, I'm a person and I cry and I feel things too. So I feel like that's important for our children to see. So on a mental level, I feel like protecting children involves just nurturing their self-esteem, their ability to be resilient. Like I said, I got things that I do with my kid every day that promotes, positive inner self-talk. Like, you're great, you're beautiful, you're amazing. Like, because, I mean, you are. So it's like, I want to be the one to tell you that, so when you do hear from someone else, because you will, because at the end of the day, the things that I'm saying are true, and I won't be the only person to notice them. But you won't lean on that. Like, these things already. So that's important for me. Loudly recognizing achievements and just acknowledging whatever they're interested in, really. Like, I mentioned the picture stuff. Like, I just acknowledge it because it's obviously something that is really enjoyable for her, which means that, that's got to be something that I'm into too, because it makes her really happy to draw. So I have recently started talking to my baby. I want to say teaching, but I can't really use teaching, but talking to my baby about mental health. She doesn't quite really like get it yet or understand, but we'll get there. But I definitely wanted to start opening that door, just so she can understand what it is, and she can know that some emotions run a little deeper than others sometimes, and that's something that she can come and talk to me about if she ever feels any kind of way, because mental health stuff is also like, that could start very young as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you are, discussing all avenues for everything, so they can just understand that the tools that you are equipping them with can manage their little stresses, their huge anxiety. Like I was talking about on a few shows earlier, my baby was dealing with a bully and she started biting her nails. And like, she's only 5. And like, people would be like people wouldn't think that a kid that young would be reacting that way. But I imagine the stress of dealing with a bully and you're at school 6 hours a day. So it's like, you definitely want to talk to them about if they're feeling a little bit sadder than usual. So yeah. So I just feel like mothers, and honestly, in this case, parents in general, and I rarely say that on my show, honestly suggest model healthy coping strategies and maintain a very supportive presence. Just guide them through difficult situations. No judgment, never pushing or pulling too hard. Just guiding them along the way. And another thing that you always want to do in the household, in my opinion, is just create a very respectful environment. So I let my baby talk. Like, I don't take the floor from her. I let her get it out. Because I want her to know that what she is expressing is important to me. And people should listen when you talk. Like, that's plain and simple. So I don't know. I think my baby feels very understood by me. I know she feels understood by me. I know she feels accepted by me, for sure. But yeah, I am definitely trying to teach her that she doesn't have to, I don't know, change her opinions and stuff like that to try to shape herself to fit in. So yeah, this support that I give her, I feel like will only just contribute to how she sees me protecting her overall, if that makes sense. So that brings me to mommy's mirror. So children are just as complex, if not more, as us. And the love that we yearn for when we become adults, the love we possibly didn't receive as children, is a love we should be pouring into our children. They did not ask to be here, just like us. We were just kind of like popped into the world as we were. And then like now we're adults just still trying to figure it out. So imagine how they feel trying to navigate it and figure it out while they're kind of figuring themselves out, finding themselves out. and learning to accept who they are. So the absolute least that we can do as moms is show and prove that they will always have someone to be there for them, no matter what happens. We know we will fight for our children to protect them. But physicality aside, it's more important to show up emotionally and mentally. And now that we are older, and I don't know, like, well, I'm older, I should say, because I don't know, a young mom could be listening to this as well. So I want to be all inclusive. So now that I'm older, I think that I've come to realize that emotional support is what I would always prefer over anything else in regards to my parenthood, and my experience through childhood. Yeah, my mom, I don't know, she wasn't very emotional. Like, that just wasn't one of her things. It's kind of still not. So I'm the super emotional one. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that in my parenting, maybe that is why that's a very important thing for me. Um, so I don't know, take some time out of your day and just remind your babies that you love them. Ask them about your day. The same way that we want other people to treat us, or our partners to treat us. Like, treat our kids like the same. Like, ask them how they feel. Ask them, how their day at school was, whatever. Like, how's their homework going? Do they understand everything? Like, just be present. Like, just be there. And just support their goals. Never forget that the effort that we do invest in protecting our children just lays the groundwork for their future well-being. Like, I feel like my baby's 5 now. I'm going to look up, she'll be 10. I do live in the present with her, but I do spend a lot of time thinking about her future as well. I'm just molding her character to be someone who can not only be depended on, but is not scared to depend on other people if necessary. So it's just a continuous journey that requires a lot of patience, a lot of understanding, and unwavering love. So just let's commit to doing everything that we can just to protect our children in every single aspect of their lives, because they will not only just remember it, they will live it. And I know that it gets hard, of course. We're still learning as well, but it's so fun learning with them. So all I can say is, as a mom, just keep pushing. Like, simple, just take it one day at a time and just keep pushing, because I don't know. When I was doing this topic, it just popped in my head that moms don't have it easy, but we have it good. And if you understand that, then you understand, because it's not easy raising my little girl, but it's definitely like an amazing thing, like, that I wouldn't trade for anything. And that's just it. And that is Mommy's Mirror. So thank you all so much, as always, for tuning in and listening to episode 16 of Mommy Monologues. As always, I hope you found this episode very enlightening and inspiring. Stay grounded and just stay on course, and keep embracing the journey of motherhood with love and dedication. Those who can relate, please like, comment, and share, and tap in. Those who can't, just go ahead and send it to someone who can. All right, guys, I'll see y'all next week. I gotta go be a mom.